Happy Magical Monday. This is Magical Michelle, and today may be one of the most important today's the start of one of the most important astrological and powerful weeks of 2023. So I just want to say to you, if you're feeling a little bit intense, it's okay, because this is where the shift is happening. This is where everything is starting to take place. This now is the time. We are in it. We are so deeply in the transformation energy. Like, this is what I've been talking about for months, really. And it does have, really, today starts something that's going to go through years to come. You're going to feel it very much for intensely until the middle of May, for sure. You've got just a lot, and so let's get into it. Let's unravel it. Let's unroll it and see what it all has. So happy Spring Equinox if you're watching it on Monday this video on Monday or Tuesday. It starts really at Monday afternoon, and that is when the sign of Aries, which is also the Astrological New Year, starts either Spring Equinox for the Northern Hemisphere or Fall Equinox for the Southern Hemisphere. And what's interesting about that is it's the equal amount of day and night. It's also the same all over the world. So you get 2 days where the whole world is in balance. And this is the beginning of high growth season if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And I'm going to speak mostly to the Northern Hemisphere for the rest of this video. But kind of important is that you've got this energy of balance and harmonization and unification and coherence. The idea here is to rebalance, and we've all felt maybe a little off balance. We might have felt like there's a lot going on internally, externally, here and there. So this is the time to really decide that this is your personal time to center. Don't worry about the rest of the world for these next few days. This is a week to be really, really focused on yourself. And of course, the equinox portal lasts for 3 days. And if you really look at it from a Celtic standpoint, it starts on the night at sundown and goes until the next day at sundown. So technically, you're going to start Monday evening, at least Eastern Standard Time, around 5:30. So we just had that peak. So we just moved into it, even though the portal energy was there all day. This balance energy was all day. And so we're going to move through this night being the same amount of time as tomorrow, daytime. So you're going to have this polarity, this balance energy of being able to be inward and outward. Your masculine and your feminine. Anything it's in balance, day and night, dark and light. So of course I work with this usually with a black candle and a white candle. And so I did that earlier today with a yin yang symbol. There's also more going on this particular year than ever before. We have this massive energy where this is also the beginning of Aries, the Astrological New Year. So, and keep in mind, I've said this before, but in case this is your first time watching me lately, there are no planets in retrograde. So it just means that every planet is moving forward. It is where it needs to be, doing what it needs to be doing, instead of stationing backwards or taking a break. Everything's moving forward right now, which means on a new moon or any other manifesting energy, it means that everything is going steadily forward. And so right now we're sort of in the middle of that time frame, because it's going to go until April 21st, and we've had it significantly for over a month now. So this is that new moon that's going to happen tomorrow. So it happens tomorrow, 1:35, I believe, somewhere in the 1:30 time frame, Eastern Standard Time or New York time. We're going to see the new moon in Aries. So to have a new moon in Aries, and it's the first degree of Aries on the spring equinox, which then is the first day of an astrological new year and the beginning of high growth season, where the sun every single day for the next, until the summer equinox is the same and will always be for the next 6 months, brighter than and longer than the night. So we're in this time of light in the northern hemisphere. And so you have a new moon, 0.1 degree, going into the first degree of Aries on the equinox on this day. And so we're having this energy of a true reset. There's all this energy where we've been letting go. And technically tonight is a dark moon. So there is no moon in the sky, is what that means. There's like no visible moon. And it's true darkness and true daylight. So you've got this real balance. And then tomorrow from 1:30 on, you're going to start feeling the momentum. And it's really interesting because once in a blue moon, not very often, we're going to call this a black moon, we actually have 2 new moons in the same astrological sign. Not in the same month, but literally when you're in this sign, it takes 28.5 days to move through a sign, the sun moving through a sign. So you're going to see on the first day of this sign a new moon, and the last day. And what makes that really special is you start the eclipse season there. So on that very special second new moon in Aries, you have a solar eclipse. So there's all this stuff going on. And if that wasn't enough, on the 23rd, you have Pluto moving into a new sign, which it only does once every 20 years. Now, it's going to go back and forth in the planets of, it's going to move from Capricorn into Aquarian, starting new Earth, starting the new age of Aquarius, really that transitional time, because it takes 20 years to go through this sign, but it's going to move back and forth. It's going to go back to Capricorn for a minute, and then next year it will fully station in Aquarius. So you're going to be seeing what needs to be done for you to be in full, authentic, personal, spiritual energy of who you came here to be. So there's a lot going on this week. In a matter of days, you have 3 massive things, boom, 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 in a row. And so there's this glimmer of hope. If you've been feeling off, if you've been feeling frustrated, if you've been feeling like all this stuff is going on, it's because it's been getting you ready for right this second, right here, right now, this time. So the most important thing I can give you is to keep your words, your thoughts returning to love. Because if you set yourself up to be in a high frequency, a high vibration, do whatever you have to do to stay out of arguments, stay out of resentment, get yourself into a joyous, peaceful, loving place. Do the inner work, do the outer work, treat yourself to gratitude, treat yourself to personal respect, treat yourself to love these days. That's going to set your frequency up for a long time. It's the perfect couple of days to do magic, to do intention work, to do intention setting, goal setting, magic. So like I'll be doing a fire candle for the new moon because it is an Aries fire sign. I will, and candle magic is sort of my epiphany of it. It's a good time to do a burn where you would write out what you're letting go of and what you're bringing in, just like any form of New Year's. It's the perfect time because it really does have that death and renewal cycle energy here. Big, huge energy with Pluto being that underworld energy and Persephone rising from the underworld right now. So there's this shift of getting out of your old paradigm and creating, co-creating, having the courage to be part of the solution and the new paradigm. In fact, I really feel that collaboration is going to start. You're going to see a lot more collaboration. It's important that we connect to our courage instead of our fears. It's important that we do things even if we're a little bit afraid of doing them, even if we're not sure what we're going to get on the other side. If we're dreaming of it, if we're wanting it, if we're desiring it, it is really a good time to connect. And these are words that I'm going to use for this week. Connect, align, get really, really into the alignment of what you're choosing. And choice is important. It's a tool for you to make a choice on who you want to be, how you want to show up, what you want, what you don't want, and set intentions, boundaries, goals. Of course, I like to speak it into being, which I think is so important. I like to be witnessed. I like to witness people. The law of witness really helps anchor energy in. So if you want to say it to a beloved friend or partner or say it out loud, it really starts getting it momentum. You can write it into being. That's what we call spell casting. So writing your things, I like to write them 3 times. I like to say things 3 times. That's the law of 3. Really get yourself into the frequency by writing, saying, seeing, and that's visualizing. So you're going to visualize it. You're going to paint a picture in your own mind's eye. You're going to create it as it is already done. You want to be in the I have, I am. I love the I am present statements, which I am this, I have this, this is already mine. I am in the energy of. So for me right now, my mantra for this week is I am divine love. It came up in a client call this morning, and I made a decision that is going to be this week's mantra. I am divine love. We have conditional love, we have unconditional love. In this case, divine love means no judgment. It's just love. It's like pure love. And if you want to work with that, you've got I am, the I am presence, where you're actually connecting to the energy of God, God essence, God essence. You're connecting to speaking that into being. You're connecting to sound mantras. If you want to add using a mala and you want to go into doing a set of affirmations, which we would do in English it would be an affirmation. Do it 108 times using a mala, where you actually say it out loud and move the bead each time. The other way you could do it is you could listen to it. I love Diva Premal's version of A Prema, and it actually is the same thing, but in Sanskrit. It is then called a mudra, I believe, when they do it in the repetition, you're actually hearing it as a mantra then. And so I am divine love is translated into ah prema. And you can either just listen to it on repeat, or I actually like to say it while using my mala at the same time. It can really, really set you up. What you're listening to, what you're feeding your brain this week, probably one of the most important weeks. This is the week to go a little further, clean your house, clean your brain, change your sheets, do the things, fill your house with flowers, fill your mind with good things. This might not be the week to watch all the conspiracy theory documentaries. And I know I love them too, but this isn't the week to start going down a rabbit hole of anything that could be negative. More than any other week in the entire year, this is the year, this is the day, this is the week you want to really focus on who you want to be, how you want to show up in the world, and start taking aligned action. And by aligned action, it could be a simple thing. Like if you're like, I need to clean up my house, you could spend 5 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day just starting that process. If you're like, I need to pay off debt, put $5 extra toward your credit card when you're paying it. Put, a little bit of money toward it. Do something, even if it's just the tiniest act that is symbolic toward your goals. If you want to look for love, create a list of what it is you're looking for in love. If you're wanting to buy a house, create a list of what you're looking for in a house. Literally writing out your wishes and go big. Go all the way out. Go 2 and 3 years, go 10 years, go 5 years. What is it that you desire? And connect and align with your desire instead of your fear. Connect and align with your love instead of your fear. Connect and align with who you're becoming instead of who you were. Connect and align with what you want New Earth to look like instead of what you're afraid of. And if you want to send something out to the world, send a blessing. Send the energy of how you plan this world to be. Not just a wishy-washy wish, but this is how the world is going to change. Say it with conviction instead of weakness. Say it with courage. How are you going to show up and collaborate with the world? How are you going to show up and live in collaboration and courage instead of fear and jealousy and envy? This is the energy this week. Move into high growth. Where do you want to be a year from now? Where do you want to be 6 months from now? Where do you want to be 3 months from now? Where do you want to be 3 years from now? Where do you want to be 20 years from now? Think big. Think beyond what you've done before. And last thing I want to say on my little note list is, if you're going to say to me, but I didn't get it yet, it hasn't happened yet. There's a shaman philosophy that I think really applies today. I was going through some old shaman notes, and there's a statement that says it couldn't have happened any other way. If you're doing the shoulda, woulda, couldas, if you're saying, well, why would I even bother? Why bother doing that? It didn't work. It didn't happen. Actually connect to, it couldn't have happened. You weren't ready yet. You didn't know everything you know now. The world wasn't necessarily ready for it. But divine timing, connected with aligned action and divine love, says that you get to co-create when you're in that frequency of love and above. So when you are choosing to come from a place of, this is already mine, and of course it's going to happen, instead of, oh, it never happened before, so why bother? Of course it's not going to happen, because you're actually getting what you expect. That's the law of expectation, right? At which has another name for it. And if you're interested in that, you could always order my Laws of the Universe class in a recording fashion. We've already done 2 weeks of it. I have 2 more weeks, so you could get on now, or you could watch it as a recording, and I go into a bunch of laws of the universe. There's also a lot of things going on right now, and so I wanted to follow this astrology. In the past, during certain eclipse cycles, I have done a series of calls called The Offer, where we do clearings, we do connections, we connect and align to your true highest potential. And so we're starting tonight. It's just a bonus call. We're going to be going through all the way into May, through the eclipses, through the 4/4 portal and the 5/5 portal and all these activations. But you could sign up for it at any time before April 4th. And if you do sign up right now, you'll get this extra bonus call of my Spring Equinox new moon. So this is the week where you would get that extra special gift right now. So please, I'd love to help you. It's called The Offer. I want to help you navigate through this very special time, because I do think of it as special, but it could turn to difficult or uncomfortable if you're not ready to hold yourself at a higher frequency. So please let me help you. Please let me help you get rid of your anger, get rid of your old karma. It is a time of karmic ease where we can instantly, quickly shift the things you've gone through in the past and change your energy. So you can do that by all kinds of ways, but one way to do that would be to come with us on this magical journey that we've curated and are preparing for you over the next couple of months, really. It's going to be a really powerful time. It is a powerful time. And so, again, I want to just take the last few minutes of this call and help you connect to divine love. So just line up your spine. Feel yourself move into alignment. And by alignment, I mean, imagine that there is a string at the top of your head, dropping an anchor down into the earth. I want you to imagine that there's a beautiful ball of light around you, all the way around you, in front of you, behind you, and to the right of you, to the left of you, and above and below, but more importantly, everywhere within, all the way to your heart chakra, all the way to that eternal molecule that goes with you from lifetime to lifetime. I want you to imagine that inside that beautiful ball of light is nothing but love, divine love, pure love, unconditional love. And I want you to go ahead and release anything that you're holding on to right now that doesn't match that frequency, whether that's resentment, fear, worry, guilt, shame, any lower emotions like anger, resentment, grudges. Just take an exhale and imagine letting it go. Imagine that it's being transmuted. And let's just harmonize your body like a symphony, harmonizing your body, harmonizing your emotions, and balancing your brain chemistry, the right and the left, the front lobe and the mind's eye. And I want you to imagine harmonizing your mind's eye and your heart and bringing them into heart-brain coherence. And I want you to also imagine connecting your root to your mind's eye like a figure eight and bringing your entire body into balance, your right and your left side, and all of your chakras being balanced. And just an extra release. Drop your shoulders, exhale, release anything else that doesn't feel like it's serving you. Oh yeah, like that. And just exhale. and bring a deep breath in. Bring it up through your tailbone, through your heart, into your mind's eye. Feel it in your fingers and your toes. Feel it all around you. Remember that you are supported by the energy of all that is, that you're a co-creator to your next divine future. And when you connect to divine love, you make your creations inevitable. And just see yourself in this higher new frequency. Reset your set point. Remember, this is your new you, new paradigm. This is love, divine love, and above. And just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Count your blessings for all that you already are and all that you're becoming. So grateful for all that you already have and all that you're receiving. So grateful. And most importantly, remember you are divine love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. And so it is, and so it shall be. So, happy spring equinox, happy new moon in Aries, happy astrological new year, happy Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's a lot this week, and I know you can do it, and I know that you can do it from a place of love and magic. And I'll see you again next time, unless I can see you sooner. I'd love to see you on the calls that I'm doing this week. So hop on that, on the offer, and I might be able to see you sooner. If not, I'll catch you next Monday, and have a beautiful and magical week.